This is a presentation on participatory vendor selection. The presentation describes how to bring a group of decision makers to a consensus on an important decision, specifically on choosing an information system vendor for the organization. There are 7 steps in the consensus development process for vendor selection. First, key stakeholders are identified and invited to participate. Second, individual interviews are conducted with each stakeholder and a model of each person's preferences is constructed. Third, the stakeholders meet as a group and revise a consensus model constructed from the individual models. Fourth, the group constructs a scoring procedure to go along with their revised model. Fifth, the group discusses major differences and redoes the scoring procedure. In step 6, the group scores the vendors based on selected attributes in their consensus model. Finally, in step 7, the analyst documents the participants, the meeting process, the group's scoring system, the performance of vendors, and the conclusions and next steps. This information is distributed throughout the organization. After speaking to expert 1 in a face-to-face meeting, I found that the expert placed the highest value on ease of use, followed by cost and then compatibility. As you can see, the expert provided her own attribute levels as well as her own ratings. This is the first expert of 3 that will participate in the consensus model process. This represents the step of the individual interviews. With expert 2, I found that the expert placed the highest value on ease of use, followed by cost and then security. As shown in this table, the expert provided her own attribute levels as well as corresponding ratings. Finally, with expert 3, I found that she placed the highest value on ease of use, followed by reputation and then security. Just as the first 2 experts, expert 3 provided her own attribute levels and ratings. Shown here is the consensus model developed by the 3 experts as they met as a group. We were able to find 3 vendors, displayed here as vendor A, B, and C, that closely resembled their preferences. As you can see, the experts decided to focus on ease of use, cost, and security. After discussing the reasons behind their ratings, the experts were finally able to agree upon these ratings and rates for each attributes. So, the weights and ratings for each attribute were used as shown in this table. For each vendor, the overall score is calculated as the weighted sum of the ratings. Thus, for vendor C, the rating of 80 on ease of use is multiplied the weight for ease of use. The rating 70 on cost is multiplied by 0.3, which is the weight for cost. The rating 70 for security is multiplied by the weight for security. The overall score is the sum of the weighted rating. As you see, vendor C has the highest score of the 3 vendors. Thus, we recommend that the experts choose vendor C. Participatory vendor selection is valuable as it enables a large number of clinicians and managers in an organization to come together on an important decision. The process helps the organization come to consensus on complex decisions, such as selecting an information systems vendor. Quantifying individual and group preferences on various attributes offers a consistent method of tracking, comparing, and communicating subjective concepts. However, these values are rough estimates and should not be mistaken for precise measurements. It is valuable to conduct individual interviews before the meeting so that all participants feel important and like they are making a contribution to the decision. Conducting interviews before the general meeting also saves time, as it provides a starting point for the general meeting. This presentation was intended to inform on a process of developing consensus on a complex issue, such as selecting a vendor for information system.